Hey everybody, welcome to Brian's Vinyl Records. I'm Brian, and it is time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. And today it's going to be a good one. Short, sweet, but wait till you see what I picked up. So stick around and I'll show you the newest additions to my vinyl collection. Alright, welcome back. So, I said in the opening it's going to be a short one. I don't have a whole bunch of new albums to show you, but what I have are very exciting albums to show you. So, let's start with a couple that I picked up online that I was really excited about. The first one is this one here. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so the soundtrack of the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. We love the first Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack in this house. We listened to it quite a bit, and so this went down to I think $19 online, and I just decided to go ahead and pick it up because it's one of those albums that I've wanted. I will say not as good as the first soundtrack, but still pretty darn good. There's some great stuff on here. Cheap Trick is on here. You got George Harrison on here. You got Electric Light Orchestra on here. Sweet, Fleetwood Mac. I mean, there's some great stuff on this one. So very happy to get this. I got the deluxe version again, which also includes the score for the movie, which I think is awesome. So very excited to pick this up. So this is the first one I wanted to show you guys today. The second one I want to show you, this is one that I've wanted for a while and just haven't pulled the trigger on. It dropped again in price, so I decided that it was time to pick it up. This is Liz Phair's self-titled album. So I have, of course, a couple other Liz Phair albums that I've shown on vinyl editions before in my collection, but this is the big one. This one to me was her best record. It's fantastic. Now, a lot of people think that it's too sellout for Liz Phair, but I mean, she writes her own music, so it's what she wanted to write at the time, so you can't blame an artist for that. I'll never tell anyone that they sold out or anything like that, but this is an absolutely outstanding album. So I love it. It's got Extraordinary on it. It's got Rock Me on it, and so it's just absolutely fantastic. Why Can't I was a huge hit for her. A great album. So happy to have this in my collection. Very excited. All right. So this past weekend I ran out of my favorite kind of sleeves, which are the MoFi sleeves. I think a lot of us in the vinyl community use these sleeves. They are by far the best sleeves that I've ever purchased, so I buy them quite often. And what I've been doing is going through my collection, and as I play a record, if it has a paper sleeve on it or one of my older sleeves on it, I will swap it out for the MoFi sleeve. So my local record store down the valley carries those in stock, so I decided to make a trip out there to pick up a couple packs of the MoFi sleeves so that I have enough on hand as I'm going through getting new albums and then swapping the sleeves out of older albums as well. And while there, of course, what do you got to do? I mean, you got to peruse the albums and see what you have. So I had a list on my phone of things I wanted to look for. And the first one was this album. This is the last of the Pearl Jam studio albums that I needed to complete my Pearl Jam studio albums collection. So really excited to finally have this. This is binaural and a good record. I've listened to the first disc so far. I'll be listening to the second disc later today to finish it off. Love Pearl Jam and really kind of lost sight of Pearl Jam after Vitology. I didn't really get into them for No Yield or any of the other, or No Code and Yield and all those other albums that came after. And it wasn't until recently that I started buying up the CDs to get their catalog filled out. And then when I started collecting vinyl again, I knew I wanted to start slowly collecting their vinyl records because they're not cheap usually. Pearl Jam records usually are on the higher end of new albums, so I've been watching each one as the prices kind of went up and down, deciding when to purchase them. And this is the last one I really had to get, so I figured I'll check it out there, see if they have a copy in stock, and I'll just pick it up. Amazon's price hasn't really gone down much. These guys are very competitive with Amazon's pricing, so I'd rather buy it locally if I can. And so I found this there, picked it up, and was ready to go to the next one. So I was digging through looking for a couple albums. I think a Rush album. I was looking for the Rustin Kelly album, which is an absolutely fantastic album. If you haven't heard it, I've only listened to it streaming. I haven't heard it on vinyl. I'm sure it sounds absolutely amazing on vinyl, but nowhere seems to have it around here in stock lately. So I'm looking for that. And then I was looking for a Prince album called Art of Official Age, I think it's called. And it's one of his newer albums, one of the final albums that he had put out before passing. And I just figured, I've been watching that one online too, and the price hasn't really gone down much, and a lot of times it's not in stock. So I figured I'll check with these guys. They have a ton of Prince there. It's Minnesota, so everywhere here has Prince all over the place. So I figured if they have it, I'll pick it up there. So I'm thumbing through the Prince stuff the first time, and I don't see it there. I'm a little bit bummed. I stop a little short of the end, and I move along. As I'm moving along, I ask one of the people if they have the Rustin Kelly album. No. I look for some drive-by truckers. No. And so I decide, well, I'm going to go look just in case I missed it and see if they have the Prince one again. So I'm thumbing through the Prince again all the way, and I said just look through all of them, and I get to the very last Prince album in there, and my eyes just light up huge. I've never seen this album in any store. It's never been officially released. It was one of those albums that he was ready to put out. I think he sent a bunch of promo copies out, and that might have been a handful of albums made it into record store shelves before he decided that was not the album he wanted to put out and pulled it back. And it had never seen the light of day. It's been locked in his vault since. There have been a ton of leaks of the album. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it all over the place. And, of course, there's been some unofficial releases. And the unofficial releases, from all accounts, sound absolutely great. And so I've been looking around. This is one of those albums that I would just love to have, but I'm not going to spend a ton of money on because I'm hoping that the Prince Estate will release it officially at some point. No one's indicated they will, but that's the hope among a lot of Prince fans. Well, I had an opportunity about 2 or 3 months ago to purchase the bootleg of this album, opened bootleg of this album for $65. And I almost pulled the trigger on it, but it's just more than I like to spend on an album. My top dollar on an album is usually around $35 to $40. And any more than that is really hard for me to put the money down on, just because that's a lot of money to pay for one album. And so I let it go, and as I was thumbing through here at Down the Valley, I came to that last album in the Prince rack and looked at it and thought, well, what is this? And then I looked at the title on the price tag and thought, oh my God, here it is. Sorry for the glare. This is the one and only Prince Black Album. This is one of those grails for any Prince fan to have. Pardon me while I open this. There we go. Still shiny, but it's got the explicit lyrics warning on it. I have not listened to it yet because of those explicit lyrics and having children in the house. But the cool thing is it comes on this really nice orange yellow splatter vinyl. All the ones that I've seen online so far have been a clear vinyl or I think a purplish vinyl. So this must be a newer unofficial pressing that they've put out. So really excited about this. I posted this online to my vinyl groups that I'm part of, and everybody was completely blown away that I was able to see this in a store. Many folks have never ever seen a physical copy of this available. So while it is an unofficial release, supposedly it sounds absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't be happier to have it. It's 2 LPs, double side, both sides have songs on each LP. Super excited. I'm going to pop this on the first moment I have when the kids are either outside or away, and just give this a listen to and soak it in, because this is definitely a Grail that any Prince fan is searching for, and to have found it, I am super excited about that. So that's it, though. That's all I have for this week's vinyl editions. The vinyl that I picked up was awesome. I'm excited about them. I've listened to all of them except for that Black album so far. Really looking forward to digging into that. And so yeah, short but sweet vinyl editions this week. But be prepared, because I have just received word that my local record store, Mill City Sound, is having another 99-cent sale this Saturday. So I might be back next week with a large amount of 99-cent vinyl to show you. Really excited about it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. If you have, I thank you for support. And give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Any questions, let me know. Happy to answer them for you. So thanks for watching, and until next time, keep spinning, vinyl friends.